What's going on, y'all? We are out here right now at Rose Marina in Marco Island, and we are getting ready to go 180 miles that way. We're going to be getting on the American Hunter fishing boat, and we're going to be going out for 4 days looking to do some slow pitch jigging off of Pulley Ridge. Plan on doing a full tour of the boat, pretty much everything y'all need to know to be able to come out here and do a trip just like that. Should be a lot of good content as well as good information. So y'all stay tuned. Let's get out here and make it happen. I'm gonna show y'all where we're gonna be fishing at. So pretty much whenever you register, you get assigned a rail number. I'm not so sure how much we're stuck to those spots, but I am gonna be rail number 7. John's gonna be 8. So this is pretty much where we're gonna be fishing from. We'll walk around to the front, show y'all the galley, maybe walk downstairs, show you the bunkhouse. So plenty of room, which we only got 10 people on the boat for this trip, so there's a lot more rail space. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be able to spread out a little bit. We do got Chef Mark, said he has some steaks marinating, smoked chicken, shrimp, all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Man, looking forward to it. What time do we eat?
I think we're gonna eat as soon as we get off the dock here.
Awesome.
Get it nice and hot and ready for everyone.
And then, I don't know if y'all can see or not, we'll go over here close to the red light. This is kind of the bunkhouse. And we won't do any filming down here because there's gonna be a lot of people sleeping different periods throughout the trip, but that's my bunk right there. One of these will be empty. Right there is the American Patriot. They're getting ready to leave out right now, and we will be right behind them pretty shortly. Well, the ship has sailed. We're about 5 miles out right now. We got about 14 hours till we get to the first spot where we're going to start fishing. We're going to break some bread here in a minute, but for the most part, we're just chilling tonight. Smells awesome. Look at that.
Lift it up.
Well, dinner was absolutely superb. It is about 10 o'clock at night right now. Just been kind of hanging in there and talking to some of the guys about fishing, and yeah, we're probably gonna go ahead and go down, turn it in. Fishing starts around 8 a.m. in the morning. I'll see y'all then. Well, good morning, y'all. We are about 45 minutes from the spot. Once we get there, we'll start getting our jig set up and getting ready to drop down. Just got to the spot. We're sitting in about 450 foot of water. We're gonna start off with a 60-gram jig. I will be talking about this entire setup a little bit later on. See if we can hook some fish first. There we go. Whoop, whoop. Fish on. Well, this is our first fish of the day, and it is about 6 p.m. right now. We got about 500 more feet to go to get them up. All right, 350 left to go. Not real sure what it could be. It's not stalling the reel out, so it's not something massive, but it is nice to get a bite out here. Got one on, Bryce. Yeah. Got 80 feet to go. Come on, we got color. That's looking like a tile fish. Yeah. Boom. Oh, bad word. God almighty.
Right through the belly? Not through the gill.
All right. Woo.
It wasn't going anywhere. Yeah,
that is the hardest I've ever worked for a fish in my life.
It's been one of the roughest fights I've ever seen, to be honest with you.
check that guy out right there. That is our first ever blue line towel fish. And he just got blood all over us. Oh yeah, that guy is gonna taste awesome. And when we get back to the house, we will be doing a catch and cook for y'all. Obviously, y'all can see I'm having balance issues over here right now. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead, put this guy in the box, drop back down, and try to pick up another one. We got that guy on the 400 rim Johnny Jig All Glow. Awesome jigs right here. I reached out to the team over at Johnny Jigs before this trip, and they recommended this one. Said it was one of the best producers on these Pulley Ridge trips, and it landed us our first fish. We're gonna drop that back down. We're in about 650 foot of water right now. And I will talk to y'all here in just a little bit, probably when it gets dark, about why this is our first fish and tell y'all kind of some of the issues that we faced here today. Good morning, y'all. It is 3 a.m. right now. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to y'all a little bit about what's been going on, and I guess kind of why we only got one fish in the box. So out here running out to Pulley Ridge, it's about a 14-hour run, and the first spot that we hit when we got there, the current was running like 3 or 4 miles per hour. And I mean, people were getting tangled up left and right. I had 1,000-gram jig on at one point in time and couldn't even keep the scope out of my line. So the captain decided to make a move way north, and most of that first day we were pretty much running around trying new spots. A couple of the guys that were dropping down squid did end up getting on a good flurry of fish later on. I think there were maybe 2 queen snapper caught, a couple of snowy grouper. I'm the only one up here tossing a jig, which we got 9 other baits in the water that are all squid, and mine's a jig. So I think some of those fish, you know, if they can choose the squid over the jig, you know, I don't know, that could have something to do with it. But we're not going to give up. We're out here, we're going to try to get those queen snapper today and try to knock off some other species. But I'm told out here at night, 3, 4 in the morning, the blackfin tuna like to show up. So that's what we're gonna do now until the sun comes up, just jig around. We're gonna throw lighter jigs, maybe a 200 gram, let it drift out there, pop it, and see if we can't pick up a tuna or something. I think we might have a fish. I think so. All right, hooked up on a jig. Got 100 left to go. Got color vermilion. All right, well, fish number 2 of the trip is a tiny vermilion. Y'all can put them back there for bait. There we go, fish on. I don't think this one can be a vermilion. I don't know. I hope not. I know, right? I did say that. I haven't felt a fish in so long. It's like I mean, I'm not gonna call it this time. It was probably another vermilion, but it's not stalling me out any. Be the right one. And it is a vermilion.
Little one. The one the last time was just as big, but he had a better fight.
We shall try again. Just got on bottom, give it a couple cranks up, and we're gonna flutter right here. Last 2 drops have been vermilion, but Mark up front did pick up 2 queen snapper. I believe he's dropping a chicken rig with some squid, so they are down there. I know we talked about trying to get some tuna, but nothing came out around the boat except for a couple sharks last night. So it's our final day here. We got to make something happen. On. Got to get them past that shark. See something for the box.
No sharks on it.
Get your ass out of here, vermilion. Golly. What kind of shark is that?
It's
us.
Uh-huh.
Like he's gonna eat it.
Yep, he got it.
He got it.
Poor little fella. Fish on. Alright, we're lighting them up now, y'all. We just got to get past the vermilion. Y'all, this shark is just on my fish like crazy. Got the last 2 vermilion up, but I think if I got something that's pull and drag, I don't think there's any way. There he is right there. I don't think there's any way I would get it past him. All right, y'all, well, I'm in the galley now. Captain just called all lines up. It's pretty much all I have to show y'all. I did end this trip with 2 blue line tilefish. One of those was not on camera, and I think I caught 4 vermilion snapper. Supposed to be 2 full days of fishing. We'll talk a lot about that a little bit later on. We are gonna do a catch and cook portion at the house. I've never eaten blue line tilefish before, so we're gonna go there, clean that for y'all, show you what the fillets look like, and then also cook it, and I'll let y'all know my thoughts on that. And then after we do that, I'm gonna kind of break down this whole trip, some of the things that happened, and then if y'all are looking at booking a trip just like this, there may be some useful information for y'all in that. So I do have Peter right here. He's been on this trip as well as many other Pulley Ridge trips in the past. What'd you catch on this trip?
I caught some blue line tile, queen snapper, some vermilions, and my friend caught some groupers. So we've had an awesome time on this trip. It's not as awesome as other trips have been, where we've caught 2 coolers, sometimes 3 coolers full of fish.
Tough fishing, eh, guys?
Food's been amazing. Accommodations really top of the line here, and we just enjoy ourselves and look forward to eating the fish, giving it away to family and friends.
Yeah, so obviously y'all saw me out there popping a jig for 2 days straight. The guys that were dropping squid definitely outperformed the jig.
100%.
I didn't.
But there are days that I've seen on this same boat where the jig will outperform the squid.
John, what do you think about this trip?
What I have to say,
About this trip.
it was kind of disappointing. A little disappointing.
How many times have you been on this trip?
3 times.
And this was by far the worst?
Absolutely. There was nothing happening this time.
It was slow.
Very slow.
It was slow.
Very slow.
Oh. All right, I'll see y'all at the house. Well, we are back home now, and somewhere it found a way to get cold again. It is 30 degrees this morning. It's warmed up just a little bit, but a whole lot colder than what it was where we were at down around Marco Island. But check it out. These are some fish that we got to take home now. Y'all did not see me catch a queen snapper. I ended up trading one of my blue line tiles for one of John's queen snapper. That way we get to at least taste it. I don't know when or if I will get back down there to do another trip. So, you know, there's a huge potential that I'll never be able to catch or have the opportunity to try queen snapper in the future. So yeah, definitely took John up on that trade, and we're gonna go ahead and get these out, put them on the table, clean them up, show y'all those fillets. We're gonna take them in the kitchen. We're gonna whip something up. Oh yeah. All right, well, we'll start off with this blue line tile fish, and we're just gonna clean these the same way we always do. Not really gonna talk y'all through it, just gonna show y'all how I do it. And oh man, that is a white looking fillet. From what I can see so far, it's definitely a clean white fillet on this tile fish. And not only that, it's very easy to clean. Scale structure is really small. This sword knife just glides through it really effortlessly. Yeah, man, that looks good. All right, well, that is one fillet right there. And we'll go ahead and just take that off the skin. see how bad the bloodline is on the back of it. All right, so yeah, that is a really, really good looking fillet right there. So we'll go ahead, get a little bit of our pin bones out, and I'm gonna go ahead and fillet up the rest of this tile fish, and then I'll show you all the queen snapper. So we're about to move on to the queen snapper, but as you see, I got a pile right here of bloodline, rib cage, and other stuff. Now try not to waste any of this. If I can reuse something, I'm going to. So all of this is going to be frozen, and I'll either use it for bait or chum in a future episode. Y'all see me throwing that out there, but we're going to set all that to the side, and we're going to move this queen snapper over here. This is the star of the show, and to be honest, this was the one fish I wanted to catch. Kind of sad I couldn't make it happen, but you know, that's fishing. It just wasn't, you know, one of those trips where people went out and just caught a whole bunch of fish. John was working some squid and was able to come up with this queen snapper, so super thankful for him letting us try it. Go ahead and cut around that rib cage. All right, and there's one of our queen snapper fillets. So definitely looks different. This is kind of more of a tanner color meat right here. It's not as white as that tile fish, which typically the whiter fillet, the better tasting, but I've heard from everybody that this is one of the best tasting fish that you can catch on that American Patriot trip. So got this guy right here. That's kind of the bloodline. We'll thin a little bit of that out, pull out the pin bones, and yeah, we're gonna go inside, cook this guy up. We got our tile fish here, and we have our queen snapper. I just cut them up into manageable steaks. It's just gonna be me trying it here today. So we got some Compass Point Blend blackening seasoning. I do like to season my fish a little bit, so we're going to keep it light so we can taste the flavor of the fish. We're not going to do a whole lot to it. We're just going to cover it with some blackening seasoning, flipping it over, getting both sides really good. And then we're going to transfer a little bit of butter over to a skillet, probably about a 1/4 stick. We just want to make sure we got the bottom of this pan nice and coated with some melted butter right there. And we'll get that going. As soon as that butter melts down, we'll go ahead and blacken our fish. So our butter is nice and melted down. It's starting to get a little bit of smoke to it, so we're gonna go ahead, take our fish fillets, and we're gonna lay them down. Remembering that our queen snapper is the bigger, fatter fillet, and our tile fish is right here. So we'll just sear them, wait till that color climbs through, and once it does, we'll do one little flip on it, then we'll make us a little sauce with some pasta to put it on top of, and we'll be done. Smelling like we got some good blackening going on here. Oh yeah, those are some pretty thick fillets, but that, oh, look at the flakiness of that tile fish. That queen kind of held together pretty good, which I can tell it's not quite halfway through, but we'll let it go just a little bit longer on that side, and maybe turn on the fan so we don't smoke out the house. Our blackened fish is done. We'll go ahead and pull it off real quick. And then everything else is gonna come together really, really fast. We're gonna leave our pan just like it is, and we're gonna put about a 1/2 stick of butter down in the pan. Just pinch it off just like that. And then to that, we got 1 good stick of chopped up Kaneka sausage. We'll throw that in there, as well as 1 small white onion. And we're just gonna saute this up. And that sizzle and that smell, it's absolutely amazing. Now we like to keep that blackening seasoning from that fish all down in the pan. Once we get this butter and all this oil from this sausage and onion coming through, it's gonna lift all of that flavor from that fish and that seasoning up, and it's all just gonna tie it together real nicely. So we're just looking to get color on our onions and to get our sausage cooked down just a little bit here. All right, now that our sausage and our onions are sweated down looking good, we're just gonna go in with a good little squirt of garlic. Something like that, maybe 1.5 tablespoons. And we'll just give that a real quick toss before we move on to some heavy whipping cream. Now we're gonna go in with 1 full pint of heavy whipping cream. And then to that, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of grated Parmesan. That should be enough to thicken that up, give it a nice little cheese taste. And we're just gonna mix that, let it thicken up just a little bit, then we're gonna add our pasta in and we're ready to eat. One thing I did almost forget, we're gonna go ahead and put some of that blackening seasoning down in there just to give this a nice little kick. Now we just got some angel hair pasta that we boiled down, and we're gonna try to place that in there without making too much of a mess. And then we're just gonna chop that up, get it all incorporated in that sauce, and then we're plating. All right, so that same plate where our fish is at, we're just gonna take a nice little scoop of this pasta, set that off to the side, and that right there is pretty much gonna be our lunch, y'all. So of these 2 fish, the queen snapper is very highly anticipated. I've heard so many good things about it. So we're gonna go in for that first, and we're just gonna, yeah, the flakiness is definitely there. Nice white fillet. It didn't look white when we filleted it. It had kind of like a yellowish tint, but after cooking it, it's nice and flaky and white right there. That's good. It's a very firm fillet, but in a good way. It yeah, it just holds itself together really nicely. It's really clean. It doesn't have any like overly fishy taste to it. That's a solid 9 out of 10. I wouldn't say it's as good as like a snowy grouper. I would take a snowy grouper over it, but like this is solid table fare, like every time. No way you would throw one of these back. Like that is good fish. Moving on to the blue line tile fish. Now that is definitely flakier. So the blue line is definitely a more moist fillet. It's buttery. I feel like the overall taste profile is not as good as a queen snapper, but like it's a solid 8 out of 10. Like there's nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, that is solid. All right, y'all, well, this is the moment that some of y'all have probably waited for if y'all are looking to book a trip with the American Patriot or the American Hunter. This is kind of some of the stuff that you can expect, and I'm gonna call it like I see it, call it like it is. I'm not really gonna sugarcoat anything. Some of y'all may think that I'm griping or complaining or whatever, but it is what it is. First thing, we're gonna talk about the pros, okay? Chef Mark, absolutely amazing. Cooked up some good food, super positive, great attitude, like just an all-around great guy, and he is going to make sure that he takes care of y'all. There's always going to be snacks, ice cream, food laid out, and then 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner are all going to be top-notch. So we had some pretty rough waves, and I just sat there and watched the chef just getting rocked back and forth, beat down on this boat, and he's still like flipping burgers and cooking chicken and doing all the things. So Chef Mark, absolutely 10 out of 10. I do want to add, if y'all didn't know, I was on the American Hunter boat, which is the smaller of the 2 boats. The American Patriot is extremely hard to get on. You got to book it well over a year in advance, I feel like. But yeah, so we were on the smaller American Hunter. So all the stuff that I'm talking about here is about that boat. Now, getting into the crew. Once again, 10 out of 10. Nico and Marquez, top notch. They're going to make some amazing deckhands in the future, and they're young guys, man. I thoroughly enjoyed talking with those guys. They're a wealth of knowledge. So yeah, the crew on the boat have no complaints at all. They were absolutely awesome. Now, the overall biggest complaint that I have is that the AC on that boat is non-existent. It may be pumping it, like if you reach up and touch the vent, like you feel air coming out of there. It ain't cold and it ain't much. So when we booked this trip, we saw all over the website, all over the information, everybody talked about how ice cold the bunkhouse was, and you'll be able to sleep in comfort because the AC on those boats work very, very well. The 3 nights that I was on that boat was a sweat box. I mean, it felt better outside in the 90-degree heat where there was a breeze blowing than it did down in that sauna box that they called a bunkhouse. So take it for what it is, you know. I feel like when you're out there fishing your tail off for a couple of days, getting sunburnt, just like grinding, like a cold bunk is nice, you know. Like you don't want to go to bed covered in sweat once, you know, on top of the sunburn and everything else. Anyways, I digress. So AC, if you're expecting it, it ain't there. Next thing, if you're booking this trip, you can almost expect a cancellation. So I was a rebook on this boat as well. At least half of the boat were rebooks, and when I asked the guys how many times that they've been rebooked, there was a couple of guys on that boat that said they have been trying to get a trip in for 2 years, and every time the trip's planned, it gets canceled. So you can pretty much plan that there might be a cancellation around your trip. And for me, I'm up here in Alabama. The buddy that came with me, John, he's from Huntsville, Alabama. He had like a 14-16 hour drive to get down there. My drive's about 12 hours, and it's really just not feasible. Like, I spent $1,000 extra to go on this trip than I should have, because back when the trip was originally booked last year, when it got canceled, there were 2 to 3 foot seas at 4 seconds. They canceled the trip. And we had already had an Airbnb, already spent fuel, already had everything lined up down there. And like the day before, we get an email, everything's canceled. Well, it's too late to like get out of your Airbnbs and stuff like that. So if you're driving from far away, like maybe keep that in mind. There's a good chance that you will get canceled. Maybe don't book an Airbnb until the last minute. Now, this trip that we were going down on, I could have swore it was going to get canceled, because I'm looking at the weather the whole way leading up, and it's like 4 to 5 foot seas for at least half a day. And you know, I'm thinking, well, a 75-foot boat should be able to handle it well, but they canceled at 2 to 3 foot seas, so why wouldn't they cancel at 4 to 5 foot seas? Anyways, so we get out there, and this trip is supposed to be like you travel through the night, and then you get to fish pretty much 2 full days of fishing, and then the boat travels through the night and comes back. Well, in my opinion, that did not happen at all. So we get on the boat at 6 p.m. on the first day, and captain pretty much tells us we got a 14-hour boat ride out to our first spot where we're going to start fishing. So we're thinking, okay, cool, we'll just rest, relax, and you know, at 8 a.m. the following morning, we're going to be dropping down. We're going to be on some fish. Well, we get to the spot at about 9 a.m., which is no problem. Get out there. Now, we're in some rough seas, 4 to 5 foot seas. Half the boat is seasick. We got guys puking off the back. Like, it's rough. And we start dropping, you know, 30 minutes to an hour in, currents ripping. Captain comes over the speaker and is like, hey guys, go ahead and reel them up. We're gonna make a 3-hour move north. Sorry for the inconvenience. It is what it is, right? So we go back, we're just getting beat around on this boat in these rough seas, and the 3 hours turn into at least a 5-hour run. It was after 3 o'clock when we made our first drop outside of that first area that we went to, right? So really haven't even started fishing yet. It's 3 o'clock. The whole first day is shot. Nobody's caught anything. We start dropping down, and I'm jigging my tail off. Ended up pulling in 1 blue line on that first day. And yeah, I think the vermilion snapper came on the second day. But anyways, we paid $1,800 for 2 full days of fishing. We didn't get that. We got 1.5 days of fishing. And you know, it is what it is. Like, you can't, like, I don't blame the captain for that, but at the same time, when people are paying money for, like, time is very critical, and I feel like if you don't give those folks that time, there should be some sort of compensation, something that happens there. I get that it's a business, but it is what it is. Anyways, moving on from that, I do want to talk about something really quick, going back to rebookings and things like this. If you're going out there on that boat and they cancel on you due to weather, you don't know when your next trip is. You're going to try to rebook it. They're not going to refund you your money. They're going to keep it. In my opinion, that is horrible business practice. I feel like if you don't provide a service, you don't get to keep the money. Now, that's just me. It is written in their policy whenever you pay them, but I didn't realize how like big of a problem rebookings were. From what I'm gathering from some people, that there's more than a 50% chance that the American Hunter is going to be canceled due to weather. So take that for what it is. If you do get canceled, they're going to keep your money until you run that trip. Yeah, I mean, I know it probably sounds like I'm complaining in a way, like I am. My expectations were far from met for this trip. And, you know, some of it was in their control. Some of it was out of their control. It is what it is. I would say this. This is my final comment on this. I would say if you are local to the Marco Island within like 2-3 hours of that area, book the trip. Go on the trip, right? No harm, no foul. If you get canceled, like, it is what it is. You're driving home the same day anyways. If you're planning this trip and you live like outside of 6, 7, 8, 10 hours away, I wouldn't book the trip, because like I said, yeah, it's probably going to get canceled, and you know, I don't know, it's just going to be difficult for you to plan around this trip, plan your vacation, and get out there on this boat. But that's pretty much all I've got, y'all. I appreciate y'all watching. If y'all would hit the like button, comment with any questions, subscribe if y'all haven't already, and we will see y'all in the next one.